three dangers of falling in love with people's potential. So now that's what I want to talk to you about. There's some dangers about that. And then a lot of times I fell into a lot of that falling in love with what people could become, but what they're not. All right. So first of all, what is potential? Well, potential is the being capable of being, I'm gonna just read this, but not yet existing. Capable of being, but not yet existing, or being true. I mean, that applies to personal relationship, that applies to business relationship, that applies to relationship, period. It's also existing of untapped or ability to, or possibilities, right, that have yet been realized. That's the key word, yet been realized. So three things, three dangers about falling in love with potential, whether you're in a relationship, romantic, business, or whatever it is. The very first thing is there is a denial of people's capacity. You're in denial of people's capacity to change, or where they are, their current capacity. What is the capacity? Is what they could hold, what they can do, how they can change, their awareness of their own potential. We are literally denying that, and the problem with that is we become rescuer. We position ourselves as the God of their changes, and we become the change for them. Remember, I believe it's Gandhi that says, be the change, not become somebody else's change. That's what we do. So the second thing that is a danger of falling in love, what people could become, they're showing you, is number one is discouragement, right? You become discouraged with their lack. This is a good sign. Discouraged with their lack of change, and discouraged with your lack of change. You become hopeless. You're like, oh man, something is wrong with me now, because they're not changing, because you're so invested in their change and you're not really investing in what's going on in you. And what that is, you become resentment. That's the problem with that. You become resentful of the reflection that you see in them. The resentful reflection, but that resentment comes from what you see in yourself. So you're projecting in them because you haven't changed, and now you want them to change, and it's not happening. So you're resentful of yourself, and you're seeing that very thing that you want in them. And that's the problem. And lastly, you become delusion of who needs to change. You become delusional of who needs to change. Okay, and the problem with becoming delusional of who needs to change, you're redirecting your focus on someone else versus you. It's kind of like being on a ship, going on a trip with a broken compass. You're not going to go anywhere, right? All right. So what are some of the three solutions that we could do in order to stop falling in love with the people's potential to change? Again, like I said, it's in all relationships. All right. Number one, become more compassionate and accepting people's capacity. Become more compassionate. Now, what does that mean? Compassion and accepting. Compassion is suffering alongside, right? If somebody has the ability and they're not able to shift and change, walk with them, right? And if they're showing you by their action they're not willing to change, accept that, right? So we can't force anybody to change, right? So that is the one thing that I would do. Number two is you want to confront your own resistance to change. Confront your own. Before you confront theirs, you need to confront yours. Because a lot of times it's so easy to look at people and says, man, you got to change this. You need to do this. You need to do this. You need to do that. Man, I really see this in you. What about you? What about the buried potential that you keep on killing by not applying? What about those potential? What about you? What about what you get to do? A lot of times we want people to actually succeed in areas of their life, hoping that somehow it's going to help us to succeed. Yeah, right? There is a saying, like, you want to help so many people to succeed and it will help you be successful, but you got to do something. You can't just, and what happens is you help everybody and you're left with the leftovers. So confront your own resistance to change. Because if you don't, you will only create a resentment. Lastly, connect and connect with your need to change, connect and focus on your need to change. We need to connect with that part of us. We need to connect with our potential. We need to connect with the things that we've buried. And there's pain in there. You got to connect with that pain. You got to connect with that pain of that fear of not wanting to go to the next level. Because if you don't connect with it, you're going to always try to change somebody else or trying to save somebody else through that fear and through that pain. It's like, man, I gotta do something. I gotta pour this energy into somewhere else. Why don't you pour that energy into doing something? Maybe one little tiny step towards that potential. Start to believe in it. Start having people hold you accountable and start pushing yourself to get out of that comfort zone, because the comfort zone is basically a coffin that you bury all your potential and all your dreams into that. So don't have that funeral, right? Well, thank you so much for watching my videos. Please do subscribe if you like the video, and please share it. And also click on the bell button there so you can be notified with any new videos that I come out with. Thank you.